boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have needed is NieR Replicant version 1.22477. Well, you know. So the game was developed by Kavia and this remastered was developed by Toy Logic. It is using their in-house engine, and this is the graphical settings that I do recommend you to go with if you have a GTX 1650 Super. So this game, I will be using the high presets with texture filtering set to 16 because it's something that it isn't really demanding at all. But there is other options that you can enhance, like for example the LOD, you can use the maximum, but I saw the frame rate going under 60 frames per second. Talking about frame rate, this is the frame rate that I got without recording, traversing through the village and fighting some monsters. So I got an average of 70 frames per second with 1% of 64, so an experience above 60. At 1440p, my experience was in between the 50 to 60 frames per second, whatever if I go with the high settings or the median settings, the frame rate was pretty much the same. And if you go with 4K, you can experience a frame rate above 30 frames per second. And well, that's about it. So let's take a look at the requirements of the game. So these guys recommend a GTX 1660. We have the 1650 Super, and yet we are able to play at 1080p 60 frames per second. So let me show you a little bit of gameplay and let me talk a little bit of some weird issues that this game for now have. So the port for the PC contains the Nouveau, which means that you won't be able to find this version as a cracked version, at least for now. We don't know the future. But one of the annoying things about this game is that the mouse cursor, it is always popping to the front of the screen of NieR Replicant. So whenever you have a cutscene or a loading screen between areas, the cursor will go exactly to the middle of the screen and you need to be pushing the cursor out of the way all the times. Now the second weird thing is that if you go and check the line where it says GTX 1650 Super, you'll see that the GPU usage, it is at around 50%, 50 to 60% of GPU usage. Which means that we are bottlenecked over here, which means that the CPU, it isn't being able to deliver more performance. So I'm not really sure why this is happening. I know that some people will probably put the blame on the Nouveau, the RAM and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not so sure about it. The CPU usage doesn't seem to be, well, so well utilized. Probably the game doesn't scale very well across multiple threads or multiple cores, and for that same reason you get this type of frame rate. And one of the things that I tried, it was to raise the LOD. If I put the LOD at maximum, that puts more demand to the CPU, and when I do that, my frame rate goes under 60 frames per second. So yeah, in my opinion, this game probably it likes single core performance. This is something that you should be concerned about, because one of the recommendations, it was a Ryzen 3, so it is already a Ryzen. So if you have, for example, an FX CPU, I'm not really sure if you will be able to get 60 frames per second on this game, because when it comes to the GPU, it is absolutely fine. But there was another weird thing that I have noticed, is that usually when you do raise resolution, you only increase the demandingness on the GPU, but for some reason in this game, when I do raise the resolution, it also impacts the CPU, and for the same reason, that's why I got those 50 frames per second or at 1440p and those 30 to 40 frames per second at 4K. So probably they can patch this, but according to the history of NieR Automata, I wouldn't really be expecting that. This will be probably the final performance and the final patch that this game will receive. So one of the things that you should know is that at least the game works out of the box, alright? Just that issue with the cursor, alright? And the fact that this game probably demands a little bit too much of single core performance. But apart from that, performance-wise, it is just great. As for the game itself, I can't really talk about that much, since I haven't played anything special at all. Alright, so I can't really talk about. So my recommendation is for you to go and check out other reviews out there. There are tons of them, and I'm pretty sure they will do a much better job than I would do. But anyway, I can review the scores and price. So this game costs something like $59.99, so it's a full priced game, unfortunately. It is also a 10-year-old game, but these remastered have done a great job improving the level of details and shadows and lighting. So there are really tons of differences, if you ask me, between the original NieR that was released 10 years ago and this remastered version that was remastered now. But still, charging a full price, it's debatable if it is worth it or not. If you never played like me, well, probably it worth the price. And in fact, this is a game that will take you about 20 to 35 or even 40 hours to complete if you consider extras and tons of stuff. It might even take you more than 50 hours, but I believe that this should take you about 20 to 35 hours to complete the game. And I guess that's all that I want to talk about NieR Replicant version 1. Or whatever the numbers. Hope you did enjoy the video so far. I will continue to show you a little bit of gameplay of these early moments of the game. Keep in mind that these moments that I'm showing you are, very calm and all, but at the beginning of the game, you get a massive fight against tons of enemies, and still the performance was easily above 60 frames per second. If this is a concern to you, because since I'm only showing you very calm moments and open areas, the beginning packs tons of enemies and yet the performance was the same. Again, guys, thank you a lot for watching. I hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video. Any question about anything, just leave on the comment section of the video. And I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye, guys.
Welcome home. How'd it go today? Anything exciting happen? 'Cause I just stayed here all day like you told me to. I tried reading books, but I finished all of them. So if you have any fun stories, you should tell me.
Well, Popola told me about a legendary flower called a lunar tear. Have you heard of it?
That's a silly name.
I guess. But people say finding one will make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. If I ever found one, I'd buy you so many cookies your stomach would hurt.
Could a lunar tear make me better?
Sure. With that kind of money, we could buy the best medicine around. The kind that'll cure anything. Yona? What's wrong?
It's nothing. Good night.
Okay, I'm off to Popolis. See you later. And please stay out of trouble today, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Popola. Need a hand with anything?
I do have something, but I don't know. It's going to be a bit of an ordeal.
I'm sure I can handle it.
Aren't you confident? Well, you know the little wooden bridge out in the northern plains, right?
The one where the pillars all rotted out?
Exactly. We had a team of carpenters working on it, but they were attacked by shades.
Wait, really? But it's so sunny there.
Yes, I know. Apparently it was overcast that day, and the shades caught them off guard. One of the carpenters was seriously injured, but they can't move him so long as the shades are there.
I'll go take him out.
If you're up for it. It could be really dangerous.
I'll be fine, Popola. I've been training every day. I'm as strong as anyone in the village. Heck, I killed a bunch of shades by the village gate just yesterday.
Oh? That's a bit disconcerting. Anyway, are you sure you want to take this job?
Yep, I got this. Okay, that's all of them. That should take care of the shades for a while.